Hi and welcome to the Monday Live. Sorry, a little bit late. They also seem to be starting to dig up our road here, so I excuse any extraneous noise. Hopefully you can't hear much of that. So what's going on? Well, I've just come back from the reboot, so I had quite an exhausting weekend at Denham. A great event, I have to say. It was great. We had, but I do 6 seminars in 3 days. It was rebooting your declarer play, and I think we all had a good time there. And maybe next year, hopefully, we may well be rebooting our defence. So if you fancy that, now that is hard. But basically starting the next 2 years, that would be 2026, I think, with really going into your defence. But it was good. It was good. A lot's going on. There was slight error in the lead quiz this morning, unfortunately. So I'm sorry if you had already done that, because it was quite crucial. So hopefully that's been uploaded. Why am I mentioning the lead quiz? Obviously this is for the members, but we are coming towards the end of our year. So we have a sort of lead quiz that lasts a year, and we usually have a prize at the end of it. Maybe we'll have 2 prizes at the end this time, because we've got one who's got the best average, but we'll also go for a total of probably people who've done more than 44 or so, just to have a look at that. But we will see. But it's coming towards the end. I think we've only got till the end of this month, so the last one will be the last one issued in January. I think we'll probably have the closing date at the end of that week, which will be maybe February the 2nd or 3rd or so. So good luck in that if you've been doing well. And I have to say there's some fantastic scores. What are we doing today? Well, we're still in double annuity, aren't we? Double annuity, so we are redoubling. Okay, we are redoubling, and so we'll look at that. And in fact, I think what we'll do is look at we looked at the most common redouble, I think, last week, which was the immediate double after a redouble after a double after one level opening, 1 heart double redouble. Today I think we'll look at the no trump, 1 no trump double, which is the other most common redouble. Okay, so we will look at that. We've got a variety of things going on. I think my wife was telling me I'm sort of off today because I'm pretty tired. But we do have a special offer, so I'll just quickly let you see that on the March events. So do have a look at those, either up in Lancashire, up in on the prom with Gwen, or in Denham with Sue and Richard, or Richard and Sue. So yes, it's a little bit milder. I didn't notice the weather, I have to say, for the last 3 or 4 days, because I was very much in Denham Grove and didn't really go out. But we certainly had a good time. What else is there? I'll tell you what, we've got our 5-level decision, haven't we? This was hangover from Friday. Now, of course, last Friday was recorded. We're live for the next 2 or 3 weeks, so that's good. All, I think, the normal days. So the Wednesday teams, the Friday, and on the Fridays, of course, we're doing bidding the opponent's suit still. Now, what I'm going to do here is remind you of this. So those of you who watched the Friday, you'd have seen this. So you're the opening bidder. You open a diamond. You are vulnerable against not. There is a 2-spade overcall. Your partner then bids 3 spades. North then bids 4 spades. Okay. All right. So 1 diamond, 2 spades, 3 spades, 4 spades. You can't see it because sorry, I was trying to work out what you meant. I'll do it again. Sorry about that. Oh dear, press the wrong button. Apologies. So 1 diamond from you. You've got a normal opening bid. Weak jump over call, non-vulnerable north-south 2 spades. 3 spades from west, 4 spades. So I apologise about that. 1 diamond, 2 spades, 3 spades, 4 spades. And it's your turn to bid. And yeah, it's tricky. So have a little think about that. Okay, so we'll come back to that after the seminar. I think let's go there. Now I've got to press the right button again. Okay, so redoubling. We are in double annuary, and I just remember what I want to happen in January is you to double more. I don't even mind if you do worse with it or whatever. I want you to double more and just be free as a partnership to double more. So as a partnership, you decide we will double 4 times in every 24 hands, and hopefully we get 3 of them right. That's all you need. 3 of them right will be 75%. That's the key. You know, too often though we sort of think about doubling, but then decide no, not going to do it. As I say, we're looking at redoubles now, and they can only come up if people double. So if you want to give us the chance to redouble in January, we need more people to double. So what is a redouble? Let's remind ourselves. I mentioned this last week. Of course, it is the blue card, the dark blue card with 2 X's on, and really all you're doing is doubling a double, rather like the backgammon doubling dice. Okay, you can only use it though when your opponent's double. That's important. You can't just redouble your own partner, and it doesn't quadruple the stakes, but that's sort of what it does. It increases them a lot, put it that way. And there'll be times it does more than quadruple, and there's times it does slightly less. Okay. And we've said the main reasons for using the redouble are either to show strength, to give specific information, to find a better contract, or the most obvious reason, more likely at game level, etc., is to maximize your score. Again, we'll see some of that today. And the types of things you usually discuss when dealing with redoubles is what we did yesterday. So after a first round takeout double, you can redouble that, and that of course shows 9+ points. The one we're going to look at today is when one trump gets doubled. The other ones are when they interfere with a double, and we have we're able to use the redouble to show something, usually extra strength, particularly if you've got a strong balanced hand. Because quite often if they try to get in the auction and you've got a strong balanced hand, they're not going to have much fun. The SOS redouble comes up every so often, and then of course redoubles at higher levels generally is at play. Okay. So today we are looking at this auction, or indeed one no trump pass double, or one no trump double pass. This is quite a common situation where a redouble can be used, and you can use it for a variety of reasons. However, the most obvious one is if you have not agreed anything, it is a natural bid. And the key is, it's a powerful bid as well. So when we play the weak no trump and our opponent's double, we are frightened of the odd -800 or -1100, because it is a gamble, the weak no trump. In the long run it gains because you give away quite a few 50s and 100s, which give you good scores because your opponent should have been in a contract. And of course sometimes they double and we make. However, more importantly is, if we're going to give away the odd 1100, well then if we think we can make one no trump doubled, why not transform a part score contract into a game? So if I've got 10 points and my partner opens one no trump, right hand opponent doubles, I'm going to redouble because I think I've got them now. The doubler with 15 or 16 points thinks he's got us. Yes, I'm going to get my 500, but every so often his partner's only got 1 or 2 points. So our redouble hands it back to him. And what's crucial here is this can be as much as 760 points or 900, huge amounts of points, because this is a game contract. If they're vulnerable, that's a bonus 500 to be added to all of the rest. The 40 times 4, the insult. An overtrick could be worth 400 or 200. You know, there's a lot of points involved here. Okay. So, you know, hand it back to them, as it were. Now, I do understand that a lot of you will have agreements, and we're going to look at some of those now, so that the redouble comes up for a lot of different reasons. But if I sit down with a random partner, I would expect the auction 1 no trump double redouble to say, partner, we're going to have some fun here. And remember, once I've redoubled and I've shown my strength, then of course, if they try to escape, we then start doubling them. Okay, so we can suddenly get the 800 ourselves or 1100 ourselves rather than them. Okay, because obviously if they've got 15 in one hand and 1 point in the other, it's quite ugly. Because although they've got a nice strong hand in one hand, if he has to play the suit, he can never get to the other hand, and we end up getting a lot. So I expect to make 1 no trump, so let's increase the score, but we really are getting close to 4 times the amount here. Does that make sense? So 1 no trump making is 90, 1 no trump doubled coincidentally is exactly 180. It's not always that, but it happens to be exactly double because the part score 50 gets repeated by the insult 50. So it's sort of a coincidence that it's doubled in a way. But you would get 180, but suddenly 1 no trump redoubled, well, it depends on the vulnerability, but it can be as much as 760, or obviously if there's overcalls more. So suddenly again, you're getting, I mean, what is that, 90 times, it's about 8 times 90, isn't it? So it really is a lot more than 1 no trump making. Okay, as I say, it's redoubled into game. So what about a wriggle? Is it worth playing wriggles, etc.? Or some wriggles allow you still to redouble for penalties. The only problem is quite a lot of them don't allow you to play in 1 no trump doubled. So if you've got 8 points, you know, you're not sure whether you can make this or not, 7 or 8 points, but you might be able to. But do you want to gamble everything on it? Because redouble really is a huge thing. You know, 1 no trump redouble -2 can be 1,000. 1 no trump redouble +1 can be 1,000, or close to 1,000 if you sort of mean. So, you know, these are big scores. Okay. However, you know, you may choose to play a variety of things. Here's the first hand then. 1 no trump from your opponent's double. Sorry, 1 no trump from your partner double. And playing natural, of course, this is a classic redouble. Now, you can't guarantee you're going to make it, but you would feel strongly that the chances are you are favourites. Remember, you've got 22 to 24 points. And remember, you're not expecting to make a game here. Okay, you're not expecting to make a game, in which case what you'd like to do is redouble and be in game. So that's what I would do. Now, if you're not playing natural, and maybe redouble shows something, says something which we're going to see in a moment, well then you would just pass and hopefully make an overtrick or something. But obviously 1 no trump double making is a good score, but if you can redouble, it's a lovely feeling. Okay, there's your partner's hand. Happens to have 3 aces, which is helpful, but it is a pretty horribly flat hand. And you may make overtricks. Clearly you've got 7 tricks off the top, but the defence can often go, well, North might lead the king of clubs. For instance, imagine North had king, queen, 10 to 4 clubs. Well, he's got a strong hand. If he led the king of clubs, you'd suddenly start thinking, oh, I might make an overtrick here, or 2. You know, so it's not easy necessarily, and for them to defend. Maybe North's got the ace, king, queen of spades, and he leads out the ace, king, queen of spades. Suddenly you make your jack and you're making the overtrick. The thing to remember here is 1 no trump redoubled is already a big score. Overtricks are well worth it. If you're playing teams, for example, these can be big scores. Okay, but again, 1 no trump redoubled will get you a lovely score playing pairs as well. Okay, so what's the point of wriggling? Well, of course, we don't like the -1100s. Not only that, the reason, I mean, I've never taught a wriggle really before. I prefer good bidding, if that makes sense. But having said that, I find a lot of people know how to double 1 no trump, but don't know how to double later. Now, I'm hoping you're experimenting and you are going to double more in January. Okay, so therefore that you will hunt your opponents down. But the reason really wriggles are used is because quite often if we wriggle to another contract, let's say 2 clubs. Now, 2 clubs may well be going 2 off, as was 1 no trump. The thing is, will we get doubled in two clubs? Will our opponents be good enough to double us? And quite often they're not. They've been taught how to double one no trump, but they don't know how to double or carry on subsequent to it. And so the idea of wriggling is to try and find a half decent contract. Sometimes you will. Sometimes you'll have 5 in one hand and 3 in the other, a nice fit, and you might be able to make more tricks in clubs. But even if you find a worse contract, if you don't get doubled, you're okay. And that's part of the reasoning behind a wriggle. So the most simple wriggle is exit transfers. Okay, so you use all of your bids as transfers, and that includes the redouble. You use the redouble to go to clubs. You use 2 clubs to go to diamonds, 2 diamonds to hearts, and 2 hearts to spades. Okay, and what this does is hopefully you're showing a 5-card suit. You're letting the stronger hand play the hand, so you're disguising the weak no trump, and the dummy comes down with a 5 or longer in a suit. Okay. So redouble shows clubs, and then the other 2 bids are transfers as well. Okay, very simple. It's not a bad system. It does mean you can't redouble for fun, as it were, so you can't get these wonderful scores. Okay, but obviously it does allow you to escape. Okay, so here one no trump, it goes double. You're looking at this hand and you think to yourself, do you know, I don't think partner's got much chance in one no trump doubled here, but surely 2 clubs looks a better contract. If you have not agreed any system, you would bid 2 clubs. So if you are playing natural, which is the way I prefer to play, you would bid 2 clubs with this hand. Okay, escaping. However, if you had agreed to play exit transfers, you would redouble to say, partner, please bid 2 clubs. Okay. There's your partner's hand, and your partner would do as he was told, bidding 2 clubs. You know, and that's not the worst contract, is it? You might escape for 1 off, or they might get things wrong, I suppose, or maybe they play ace, king, queen of hearts, and the hearts break evenly, you end up with an extra heart, who knows? But you're in a better contract than one no trump. You can see that in one no trump you've got 2 empty suits, and in theory you could imagine losing the first 8 tricks even more if one of them has a 5-card major. Okay, and so you're happier in 2 clubs there. And again, if you're playing exit transfers, clearly with this hand we're not going to redouble, we would bid 2 diamonds. So if you were playing exit transfers, okay, you would bid 2 diamonds to say, partner, please bid 2 hearts. Okay, so remember, over a double, your normal conventions are off. Okay, but if you play exit transfers, it turns out you would do the same as you would, but most of us would have turned off our normal. So our normal conventions are statement and transfers. You turn those off, and as a partnership you decide what you're going to do. If you have made no decision, i.e. you have not discussed anything, then you'd be playing natural. So with no discussion it would go one no trump, double, 2 hearts. Okay. So, what else can happen? Well, you can play more complicated wriggles, and I'm sure some of you are out there will. So the redouble can show all sorts of things, because when it goes one no trump double, you've got lots of options. You can just bid a suit, you can redouble, or you can pass. And these wriggles will often have pass as a forcing bid, which requires partner to bid the redouble. So there are a lot of options, but the problem is the more options you have, the more complicated it is. So, you know, the redouble can show any long suit. So for example, you can use redouble to say, partner, I have a 5-card suit. Please bid 2 clubs, and I'll either pass that or I will bid my suit. Okay, so the redouble perhaps shows a 5-card suit. Any suit I bid would be a 4-card suit, looking for a fit there, etc., etc. Okay, and it means you've got all sorts of options, and the aim is to try and find our best fit, ideally finding an 8-card fit, but if not, a 7-card fit. To be honest, the main reason for it is to avoid being doubled. So again, here, one no trump doubled here, obviously you're going to escape to hearts. The system these people are playing is that redouble says they've got a 5-card suit. So we go redouble alerted by their partner, which says my partner's got a long suit somewhere. The opener then bids 2 clubs. That is alerted as well, because it doesn't show clubs, it is just allowing the partner to bid their suit. Okay, so it's the same hand as last time, and again, it depends on the system you choose as a partnership. Remember, if you have not chosen a system, then conventions are off, and you simply bid 2 hearts. Obviously, the advantage of playing natural is it's simple. The advantage of playing more complicated is sometimes your opponents forget to double you. And so, you know, I'm not saying they should double you here because you've got a fit, but they forget to do something, okay? They probably should double, but it gets tighter, doesn't it? But you can see that, you know, you're likely to go off, but you're likely to do better in 2 hearts than you are in 1 no trump. In 1 no trump, they might take 4 spades and then knock out the ace of diamonds, and that would leave you losing 7 or 8 tricks again. You might scrape 1 off in 2 hearts. May not though. You may not. If the defense get it right, you may just go too often. Remember, if the hearts break badly, that's when you should still get doubled. But it's not easy to double when you haven't got long hearts. Okay, what else? Well, so, as I say, some wiggles can have the opener use a redouble. So essentially it goes pass, pass, and their system says, partner, you must reopen with the dark blue bidding card. And now again, in a way that's alerted. It doesn't show that 1 no trump is stronger. All it is a forced bid, and in fact the pass needs to be alerted as well. That's important. If your pass of a double is a forcing bid, so it's making partner redouble, it's important that the opponents know, because it means the partner of the doubler doesn't have to bid. Because maybe, you know, because the partner of the doubler might thinking, oh no, I've only got 1 point. But when it gets redoubled, who knows? The opponents might bid on, and the passer will have another chance. So it's important. If your pass forces partner to reopen with a redouble, you must alert it. It's what's called a forcing pass. Okay, and again, it depends on your partnership agreement. There are all sorts of systems. You can show all sorts of things, but as I say, I often find that the 2 partners aren't necessarily in agreement on what the 2 things are. So the most complicated systems, Halmik and Halvik are 2 of them. Essentially what it does is it allows you to show all sorts of different 2 suitors. You can show 5-card suits, you can show 2 4-card suits touching, or 2 4-card suits not touching. And it does mean you can sometimes find a good fit, etc. But as I say, you do have to be on the same wavelength, okay, because quite often there's a lot to remember. Last but not least, you get a slightly different auction here. 1 no trump pass, pass, double. So again, we've been penalised, but it's a different auction. And again, the systems are off. But what's interesting here is that the partner of the 1 no trump bidder has passed already. So we're not in that situation where we can have 11 points and let's redouble. Now, to be fair, you can still end up in 1 no trump redoubled. If you've got 10 points, you'd still want to play, but it's less likely. And another element which is interesting in this auction is I think the partner of the 1 no trump bidder would have bid a transfer to a major if he was weak already. Can you see that? So it's quite subtle, that. But most of the time, if I've got a weak hand, which once, let's say I got doubled, I'd want to take out, well, I would have responded to 1 no trump. So if I had 5 hearts and 4 points, I would have transferred to hearts already. So for 2 reasons. 1, I want to escape. But 2, actually, once I bid a 2 diamond transfer, it's quite hard for the 15-point hand to get the hand across. Because a lot of people play the double of 2 diamonds as showing diamonds rather than necessarily strength. So that's quite interesting, because you could then, you know, again, you can play naturally. You know, the partner of the 1 no trump bidder can use exit transfers. What's important here is if you had 5 cards or even 6 cards in a minor, you might have chosen to pass 1 no trump because you weren't doubled. But when you get doubled, now you can bid 2 clubs and 2 diamonds naturally. Okay, this is a much less common auction, and if you play a different wiggle over this than you do to one no trump direct double, I am worried, because there's enough problems remembering one wiggle. To have two wiggles to remember, I think is tough. So I would really suggest generally trying to keep things the same here. So if you play exit transfers over one no trump double, do the same over one no trump pass double. Okay. I can't really think of a reason for what the opener to redouble. That would be odd. Of course, the opener always has an option to escape to a 5-card minor if they want. Having said that, I tend to leave it up to partner. You know, if I've opened one no trump and that's what I've got in my hand, it's got to be up to partner. Partner might be sitting with 8 or 9 points and happy to play. Okay, so the simple wiggle, again, you know, you've got your options. So pass, obviously, I hope to make. Okay, suit bids, let's escape and find a suit. And so what you can do is you can use a redouble to say I've got a long suit, and you can use suit bids just to escape, to escape with 2 4-card suits. I have to say I prefer playing natural generally. I don't mind agreeing to play exit transfers, but as soon as it gets more exotic than that, I think, look, it's not going to come up enough. Let's just leave it. Alan's asking if the double in the last seat shows fewer points. Not usually. It's usually almost exactly the same. And the reason for that is that you no trump bidder now. So I'm not quite sure. Are we back? I think we are down on the internet, maybe. Oh no. Oh, we're back. Okay, good. Just having a quick check here. Okay. All right. So again here, depending on your system, you would probably pass first. Can you see? And that's the difference here. One no trump pass, because you don't want to be playing at 3 clubs. Oh, did you not hear that, Alan? Yes. So, yeah, the one no trump pass. When it goes double here, I'm expecting the double to be almost exactly the same as an immediate double. And the reason is although sometimes you sort of borrow a bit at the end when you're the last bidder, you don't usually do that over one no trump because we're obviously not playing takeout. But also you're sitting underneath the one no trump. The lovely thing about doubling one no trump when you're the next player to bid is, of course, you've got all your points sitting over the one no trump bidder. Here you're sitting underneath the one no trump bidder, and therefore that negates a bit of the value of being the last player. Maybe a strong 14 I might do it on, because I feel I want to get in, because we've all been there. You can miss a game sometimes. It can go one no trump pass, and the passer of the one no trump bid only has a 2 count. But if our points are split 13 and 12, we end up taking it 3 off undoubled and could have made 3 no trumps. But not easy to do that, and I think you've just got to give up on those hands. Okay, so let's say here it comes back round to you. Now it depends on your system, but I'm going to take out. Does that make sense? I couldn't bid 2 clubs naturally because that would have been Stamen, but now I'm doubled. The systems are off. I would play 2 clubs here as natural. If you were playing exit transfers, for example, you would redouble here. Or if you were playing redouble that shows a 5-card suit. So here, this partnership are playing redouble to show any 5-card suit. Okay, and what that means is then the opener bids 2 clubs, and we then choose whether we want to play in clubs. We just bid our long suit or pass if it's clubs. And the advantage of having weighted is we play at the 2 level. Clearly, if you respond to one no trump with 2 spades to show a long minor, you get much too high. And actually 2 clubs is a decent contract, isn't it? And this is what's so difficult when you're defending against it. You know, 2 clubs is going to get close to making here. And if it does make and you double it, you're going to get clearly a poor score. So it can be difficult for the opponents to judge. The opponents here would need to find their spade contract, and they should be able to. So when it goes for me, and I'm sure many of you out there, if you double a no trump and your opponents escape to 2 of a minor, you should generally try to bid something as a partnership. So for me, as the opponents here of the 1 no trump opener, I would not want to pass 2 clubs out. Now, we might double it and struggle with the defence, but hopefully if neither of us feels able to double, so maybe you've got a doubleton as the doubler has a doubleton here in clubs, then I would dredge up a bid of some sort, and possibly sometimes it has to be a 4-card suit, and you know, you might end up in 2 spades here. And 2 spades is where probably north-south would want to be, if that makes sense. Okay, as you can see, there's only 23 points they would have, but they've got a nice fit in spades. But it can be difficult to judge. So taking out your 5-card suit tends to work. Okay, so that's the other most common redouble. You've got the 1 heart double redouble, comes up quite a lot, and when 1 no trump is doubled, the redouble is a valuable bid. Whether it's for something conventional or it's for being natural, and I love it to be natural. You know, it takes the boots off you to them, as it were. 1 no trump double can be really nasty, giving 1100, but the redouble can really turn the tables, and it can be some quite excitement. Okay, holidays abroad. We've got the cruises still going. It's a nice time to think about holidays, isn't it? So Canaries and Carnivals there. In February, and of course we've got our hotels aboard, both Mallorca and Tuscany there, so lots to think about. Where am I going? I am off to the Azores in July. Hopefully the family are coming too. That's going from Liverpool, so that's another place, so look out for that. And obviously I'm off to Malta in March and Portugal in October, I think, yes. So let's get back to this hand. Interesting. You've opened a diamond, you're vulnerable. It goes 2 spades, 3 spades, 4 spades. Now we're vulnerable and they're not. It's one of those hands where, remember, if we can make a game, your opponents only need 7 tricks to make a profit here. So let's say we end up in 4 spades doubled. I think the likelihood is we're going to get less than a game. It's not unreasonable to think, let's say they've got solid spades. South's got 6 spades. He makes 6 spade tricks for his jump over call, and they make 1 ruff in the north hand, and that's that. Okay, they've actually then made 7 tricks, which is only 500. I know it's 3 off, but it's only 500. So what does that mean? Well, now you've got to argue with your regular partner. How many hearts has partner got? Well, I would like my partner with a strong hand to have doubled 2 spades to show 4 hearts here. So his 3 spade bid is showing a strong hand, but quite often the problem is I don't know how good a fit he's got, because I love to use, and we've seen this on the Fridays, I love to use the 3 spade bid to sort of say, partner, can we play in no trumps? But at the same time, I would feel if partner had length in hearts, he would have doubled a negative double here, 1 diamond, 2 spades. Given that they've got a big spade fit, partner probably doesn't have much strength in spades either, because he might have just bid no trumps with that. I think we can be pretty guaranteed to have a fit in a minor. And the weak jump over call, quite often if there was a high card missing, it may well be in the other hand. So let's give South ace, queen, jack to 6 spades. He's unlikely to have the kings that we might be missing. But I think partner's favourite to have a decent hand. Remember, partner's shown a good hand. And as I say, 3 spades will often imply not much in spades. So I want to bid on. Having said that, how do we bid on? So this is if you're in a regular partnership, this is unconditionally forcing auction. Okay, the 3 spade from West says, partner, I'm strong and excited. We are not playing in 4 spades undoubled, partner. Is everybody happy with that? 3 spades has pretty much said we are making 600 points or more, partner. However, if they do outbid us, we can double and try and get as much back as possible. So what it means is, I don't think I can easily bid. I don't want to double first, because double for me says, partner, I want to play in 4 spades doubled and nothing else, and generally my partner should pass. Okay, so that's the first thing. I am not going to double, but I have got 2 options. I can pass now, let my partner double if he wants to, and then bid. And that's the subtle difference here. So why am I saying that? Because what does 4 no trumps bid mean in this auction? And bear in mind, you can bid it 2 ways. And the reason we've got to ask ourselves is there could be slams on here. And so you might need 4 no trumps as a blackwood orientated bid, particularly if you regard 3 spades as ostensibly support, as agreeing diamonds. So for me, 5 clubs here would be much more distributional, perhaps 5-5. And what I'm trying to say to you is that you've got a lot of different ways of bidding here. Remember, pass is forcing. So if you pass, partner doubles, and then you bid, you're showing a slightly different hand. So I think if you've got a clear-cut bid here, bid it. Okay, does that make sense? I don't think you have got that clear a bid though. Again, if you feel 4 no trumps is definitely the minors rather than slam try, you can bid it maybe. I don't even mind let me show you the full hands here. The most important thing, of course, is we've got a bid on, and you're going to see actually that slam is good. Although, on these kind of auctions, it's not going to be a huge surprise, actually, if someone had a singleton diamond, I'm going to be honest here. So whether you want to get slam. John, the key here is, what is the difference between this auction? So let's say it goes pass, pass, partner will double. He's flat. He wants to play in 4 spades doubled. But we're not going to play. We've already decided. And the point is, you can now bid 4 no trumps now as 2 places to play. So you've got the option of bidding 4 no trumps later, whereas one of them perhaps should be a slam try. Now, as it happens, as I say, maybe you should be bidding the slam try, but as long as you're happy that you've got 2. So if you're in a regular partnership, you're in a completely forcing auction. So this is complicated, and I should have warned. The point is, there's a lot of ways of bidding a lot of things, and you've got to remember that you do need one of them to be showing a slam. I think I'd have preferred to have the jack of diamonds in the east hand to try for slam. As I say, slam is where you want to be, but I think it's really difficult to bid here. But the key for me is that you can bid both 5 clubs and 4 no trumps in 2 different ways. You can bid them directly, or you can wait, knowing that partner's going to make a bid, and then bid them. Okay, so remember, from West's point of view, he is doubling 4 spades because he's so flat he cannot see much hope of even a 5-level contract making particularly. Okay, however, obviously we were going to bid on, and the question is, do you bid on directly, or do you bid on later? So for me, a direct bid is more a clear cut. So if you're 5-5 in the minors, we bid 5 clubs. Partner, I definitely want to play on one of the minors. Notice also, hearts are not where you want to be, because partner should have been bidding those earlier. So if he'd had a 4th heart there, I'd have expected to double on the first round. I hope you're happy with his 3 spade bid. Clearly he's hoping to play in 3 no trumps. On the first round of the auction, clearly when it goes 4 spades is not. I hope you can see it's easy enough for the opponents to make 7 tricks. In fact, if you leave the ace of hearts against 4 spades, they might guess that hearts are 3-3 and be able to establish the hearts. So you'll then have a choice. And if you switch to spades, they might make 9 tricks, believe it or not, if you lead the ace of hearts. If you lead a spade at trick 1, though, that is quite aggressive and works well, because you can, I think, declare we'll have to settle for 7 tricks. So what is the answer? And that is what's so difficult. So a regular partnership, those are the kind of things you need to discuss. The difference between 5 clubs. I mean, the Queen Jack of Hearts don't look great either. It turns out partner's got every single missing card. So obviously, but I wouldn't be massively comfortable necessarily in a slam anyway, because so often South turns out to have the singleton heart, but if South had had the singleton diamond instead, clearly slam would go off. And quite often we do. So it's interesting. I think here I might bid 5 clubs in this auction over the double to say partner, you know, I've got a genuine diamond and club holding, and let partner decide. Usually a 4-4 fit is better than a 5-3 fit. But you've got to decide which is stronger, and perhaps if you feel the first bid is the stronger, maybe bid 5 clubs then, because you don't want to play in the key is you don't want to play in 4 spades doubles. You made that decision, and you've got to, what is your stronger bid? And if 5 clubs is the stronger bid, maybe doing that directly, and then you never know, West might go for it. West will feel you're likely to be short in spades, and where are your losers? If partner bids 5 clubs. But really interesting. The point is you've got 2 ways of bidding, and you can choose as a partnership if direct bids in a forcing pass auction. In a forcing pass auction, our direct bid, what is the difference between your direct bids and your indirect bids? And I think it's not unreasonable, particularly the 4-no trump bid here, for one of them to be a slam try and the other one to just be playing a minor, and that's quite important. I would have thought intuitively the faster one feels more blackwoody or slam try than the other one, but that's much of a muchness. Okay. 6 clubs has probably got chances because you can rough the diamonds good, perhaps. If they do break badly. So and clearly, as you can see here, if you get a 4-1 club break, you can still make your slam. But if you had a 4-1 diamond break and a 3-2 club break, you've got a reasonable chance again in clubs. 4, 7, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, so you can still get there. So I hope you enjoyed that. I mean, you're probably angry with me for not giving you a definitive answer. But what I was trying to get across to you is actually you've got a huge number of ways to show a huge number of things, and then you remember that auction's going to come up once every 3 months, and so it's very hard then to define them. And it's really for regular partnerships, the kind of thing that an expert pair will tell you very accurately what their answers are, as it were. Okay, let's put up that bidding quiz to finish off. I've been waffling on, haven't I? So there you go. There's your bidding quiz. 1 spade, 2 diamonds. Response: 2 no trumps. Rebid. 1 spade, 2 diamonds, 2 no trumps, and it's your go. Another interesting one. Lovell is the vulnerability. Your partner's a rebid 2 no trumps, and you've got to bid over that. So good luck with that one. Remember, you can get the answer whether you're a member or not. And as I like to say, if you're not a member, why not? Hope you enjoyed that. I'm playing teams on Wednesday. Friday we are still on bidding the opponent's suit, and then I'll see you back next Monday, redoubling and doubling in this lovely month of double annuing. Thanks very much, and see you again soon.